Have you ever felt tired, but not the kind of tired that sleep can fix? A tiredness of the soul from thinking too much, trying so hard to understand others, talking too much, trying to fix everything, explain everything, even justify what you don't fully understand yourself? The mind never stops. Thoughts fight among themselves like noisy children in a room without adults. And in the middle of it all, you just wanted a little peace. But listen carefully now. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Buddha spoke so little and how silence, true silence, might be what your life needs to turn completely around. It's not about shutting your mouth. It's about listening to what has never been heard before. I'm going to tell you a story, not one from books, but one that might live inside you. It's the story of a woman, let's call her Anna. Anna was the kind of person who always did everything for everyone. Tried to be a good daughter, a good friend, an understanding partner, an exemplary professional. But inside her, something was missing. Always missing. When Anna was alone, the silence of the room turned into a scream. She would toss and turn as if the pillow could answer questions that no one ever answered. Why doesn't anyone listen to me? Why am I always the one trying? Is there something wrong with me? One day, Anna heard a phrase that seemed too simple. Be silent and listen. It was in a video like this, maybe just like this one. She didn't understand it at first, but for some reason it stuck. And that's where the truth Buddha spent his life trying to teach begins. Without shouting, without convincing, without imposing. Have you noticed how most of the answers you seek come when you finally quieten down? When you stop arguing, defending yourself, trying to be right? When you just listen? Not to the world, but to yourself. You don't need to go to a mountain or become a monk, but you do need to find the temple that exists inside you. And that temple only reveals itself when the noise stops. The noise of criticism, the noise of comparison, the noise of hurry. Yes, hurry. That anxiety to fix everything now, to understand everything now, to fix people. But listen, you didn't come here to fix anyone, nor to lose yourself trying to fit in places that don't deserve you. You came to remember that the most powerful truth of your life already lives inside you. But it speaks softly, and it can only be heard in silence. Buddha taught this way, in silence, with presence, with a look, with examples, and that was more powerful than any shout. Have you noticed how a calm person can make others uncomfortable? How silence can be unsettling for those who live on the surface? Silence exposes. It shows what we avoid, brings to light what was buried beneath distractions, excuses, other voices. But that's where healing begins. When you allow yourself to be silent, you begin to hear yourself. And when you hear yourself, you find yourself. Maybe you've lived relationships where you had to shout to be noticed, or where the other's silence hurt you more than harsh words. But the silence I'm talking about here is not absence, it's presence. The kind of silence Buddha cultivated was alive. It was an active choice not to react, not to repeat patterns, not to fuel confusion. And that, my friend, is the real revolution. Because silence is not passivity, it is strength. It is self-control. It is maturity. It is wisdom. When you silence yourself inside, the world changes outside. Words that used to hurt you lose their power. Other people's urgencies stop running you over. The voices of fear quieten down. And you begin, finally, to live for you. Not for approval, nor the need to be understood. Now stop for a second. Breathe. Close your eyes if you can. Feel the sounds around you, your body, your heart. Feel how much life is inside you, even without words. Your soul is speaking to you all the time, but maybe you forgot to listen. And now, maybe it's time to remember. Do you remember the last time someone simply listened to you, in silence, without judging, without interrupting, without trying to fix you? Most of us have never had that sacred space. We're used to a world where everyone talks, everyone has an opinion, everyone wants to be heard, but almost no one knows how to listen. And that's why silence is so powerful. Because in silence, you finally hear what is screaming inside you. Buddha knew this. He knew the human mind is noisy, restless, anxious, and the only way to calm that noise is to sit with it. Not fight it, not run away, but observe it. Have you noticed that when we are silent, everything seems to gain another dimension? A simple song sounds different, a sunset seems to speak to us. Even the pain we try to hide begins to show itself, not to hurt us, but to set us free. Silence is the language of the soul. And that's why Buddha taught much more with silence than with words. In many records, he simply remained silent before deep questions. And that silence wasn't empty. It was the answer. Because sometimes the answer you need is not outside. It's inside. And only silence can take you there. Now imagine you're sitting before Buddha, with your heart tight, wanting to understand why relationships hurt so much, why you always give too much or too little, why it feels like you're never enough. And he looks at you with tenderness, with depth, without hurry. He says nothing, but in that moment you feel something, a relief, a presence, as if for the first time someone truly saw you without trying to change you, without demanding anything, just accepting you as you are. That is the power of silence. And in the same silence, you start to realize what you could not see before. Maybe you've tried to fill the silence with the wrong voices. Maybe you're afraid to be alone because you never learned to listen to yourself. Maybe you confused noise with connection. But now, you have the chance to learn something different. You have the chance to sit with yourself, in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just you with you. And if you do this for a few minutes a day, just listen to your breath. Observe your thoughts without identifying with them, and let silence teach you. You'll start to notice a subtle but powerful change. You'll stop reacting so much. You'll listen better. You'll speak less, but with more truth. You'll feel more whole, even without anyone beside you. Silence heals. It heals memories you didn't know were wounded. It heals patterns you repeated without noticing. It heals wounds that words never could reach. But silence also confronts, because it shows the mess we made inside.
Shows fear, anger, neediness, loneliness. And that's why so many people run from it. They prefer noise, prefer to stay busy, prefer excess. But you don't need to run anymore. You can make silence your refuge, your temple, your answer. And when you do that, something magical happens. You start relating to others in a new way. You no longer look for someone to complete you, because you already feel whole. You no longer demand the other to listen to you, because you learned to listen to yourself. You no longer get into arguments to be right, because you understood that peace is more important. This is the path of silence. And that's why Buddha, even being a master, often preferred to keep quiet. Because there are moments when the greatest wisdom isn't what you say, but what you choose to silence. And maybe today is the day you start practicing that. You don't need much, just courage. Courage to sit in silence with what's inside. Courage not to run from yourself. Courage to listen, not to the world, but to your truth. Because at the end of the day, the peace you seek is in that silent space between one thought and another. And it's there, in that space, that your soul whispers what you've always wanted to hear. You are already enough. You are already whole. You are exactly where you need to be, in silence. Do you feel it? That silent call echoing deep in your chest? That soft voice sometimes drowned out by the noise of daily life, but never gone? That is you. That is your essence trying to be heard. And silence is the only way it can speak clearly. But I know it's not easy. Our life today seems made for movement, for constant noise, for running away from the emptiness inside. And that creates a vicious cycle. We run from silence because we're afraid of what we'll find. But what we often discover is that fear is just a door, and silence is the key to open it. When you walk through that door, you find a safe space inside you, a space where you don't need to prove anything, where there's no judgment, where you can simply be. That's where real transformation begins. Silence becomes a companion, an ally, a teacher who guides you not with words, but with presence. And when you learn to listen to that silence, you discover it's an endless source of strength, calm, and wisdom. So, what can you do right now? Start small. Dedicate 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day to simply be silent. No plans, no expectations, no rush. Just you and your breath. You'll be surprised at what may arise. Old memories, stored feelings, new insights, all emerging so you can look, welcome, and let go of what no longer serves you. And over time, this practice becomes a sacred habit, a necessary pause in the frantic rhythm of the world, an anchor that keeps you steady when everything outside seems to fall apart. And you know what's even more amazing? This simple practice changes how you live. You start noticing the little things, the smell of rain in the air, a stranger's smile on the street, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the soft music playing inside your heart. You become more present, more attentive, more connected. And this connection shows in everything, in your work, your relationships, your mental health. You become someone who inspires peace, someone who doesn't need loud words to be heard, because your presence speaks louder, and that changes everything. But this change doesn't happen overnight. It happens when you allow yourself to take the first step, when you have the courage to be silent, even if it scares you, when you choose to listen to your soul, even if it whispers softly. And I want to invite you to start now. If you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath, feel the air going in and out, and let the silence fill you. Allow yourself to feel whatever comes, without hurry, without resistance. And if doubt, fear, or resistance come up along the way, remember it's all part of the journey. No need to fight it. Just observe and return to silence. This is the path to true freedom, true peace, true happiness. I know this journey isn't easy, but it's worth it. So if this video touched your heart, if you want to keep exploring this wisdom, this calm, this strength that silence offers, I want to invite you to be part of this community here. Here we'll walk together. I'll bring you content to help you deepen your connection with yourself, to inspire you to live with more presence, love, and wisdom. Subscribe to the channel now. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and share it with someone you know who needs to hear this message. Because the world needs more silence, more presence, more true love. Thank you for being here, for allowing yourself to listen, for allowing yourself to be. Remember, you are already enough. You are already whole, and the path to this truth lies within you, in silence. See you in the next video. Namaste.